Welcome to another Smeester's Corner. I am Adam Smeester, otherwise known as Mr. Smeester. So today's topic is bragging. All right, so no one likes a braggart. These are things to maybe not do. So typically when people think of bragging, they think of people that just like to talk about themselves. How good they do at some things, how great at sports they are, how great at music they are. They like to talk about their achievements and their personal qualities a lot. Most people find that annoying. The reason that most people find that annoying is because it appears that you are comparing yourself to everybody else. No one likes to sit there and feel like they're being compared. Even if that's not what you're doing, that's what it seems like. And it seems like a lot of times when people brag, it seems like they think that they're better than everybody else. That's the way it comes across. Okay? Even if you don't intend it to, that's the way it'll come across. A lot of times it's annoying because braggarts sometimes will manipulate the conversation to try to direct the conversation so they can talk about themselves. That comes across as being selfish because you're not interested in necessarily what everybody else has to say. You want to be the one talking, or you want to be talking about yourself, so you kind of steer the conversation. People can tell when you do that. So if you think that you're really good at doing that subtly, I can guarantee you people know that you're doing that. All right? So those are kind of the typical ways people brag. I'm going to talk about 5 different ways people brag. You'll probably see as you progress in life. These are more sophisticated ways of bragging, okay? So the first one, number 1, is called the humble brag. The humble brag is when a person tries to come off as being humble or non-deserving, but in that humility, they're trying to draw attention to what they've just done that's awesome. Okay, something like that. So here's some examples. I was so honored to receive the award, blah, blah, blah. And they come across as humble because they're honored, but they want to tell about the award that they won. And it's okay to brag sometimes, but you can't be doing these all the time. All right? Here's another one. I always try to give money to the homeless. Small acts of kindness are really important. Okay, but why are you telling everybody that? Do you need to tell everybody that? Here's another one. For some reason, people feel the need to stop me all the time and tell me how great my hair is. Oh, it's so annoying, but I'll take it. Okay, that might be annoying, and that might happen a lot. But do you really need to tell everybody about it all the time? Okay, you could maybe tell a few people about it. So that's called the humble brag. Okay, here's the next one, the complaining brag. This is where people, it seems like they're venting or complaining, but really they're trying to draw attention. So I had a friend who would do this a lot, and she would say something like this. Oh, so there I am, sweating in the gym, and all the time these guys are just coming up to me and hitting on me. Oh, it's so annoying, I don't even look pretty. Okay, that might have actually happened. And that might be annoying, but do you need to talk about that all the time? So you're complaining because it's happening, but you're kind of bragging by wanting to let people know how pretty everyone thinks you are. That's kind of annoying. The other ones that I'm going to list, number 3, these seem to be on the rise to me, and these are the most annoying ones. Okay, this one's called the victim brag, where you show people how virtuous you think you are because of all the suffering that you've endured or the oppression that you've endured or are currently going through. All right? So I have a friend who would post stuff like this all the time about her victimization. And she would say things like, you know you're too good of a person when you go out of your way to help people all the time, but when you need them, all I hear are crickets. Okay. That might be annoying, and that might happen, and it might hurt. But do you really need to tell everybody about that on social media? And the question that you should be probably being focused on is, why does that keep happening? Maybe you should take a look at who your friends are. Like, that might be the bigger issue there, you know? Here's another one. When the system does X, I just look it back in the eye and I say blah, blah, blah. Talk about like how oppressed they are by the system. All right. No one really likes to hear venting on social media. All right. So that's the victim brag. The other two I'm going to kind of lump together. This is called the helper brag or the unsolicited advice brag. So the helper brag can be when you act like you're giving help to someone, but you're kind of bragging about how much you know about the subject. So it can be physical or in a conversation. So the first one is like more the egghead brag. Okay, and we all know an egghead who will always kind of throw their 2 cents in, and really it's to kind of show everyone how smart they think they are. So you're having a conversation, they're like, well, actually, blah, 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 and they're using big words, and they're just trying to show off, and there's nothing wrong with using big words, but when you're doing it to show off, everyone can tell. All right, so that's one helper brag. The other helper brag is maybe physically, and there's a guy I know in the gym who does this a lot. So you'll be in the gym, and he'll come around and tell everybody what they're doing wrong. So you'll be sitting there with like a bar. He's like, hey man, hey, you should probably keep your hands a little closer together, man. That'll work out a lot better for you. I just want to make sure you're doing it right. And he'll come up to women, like the good-looking women too, in the gym to act like he has something to talk about. Hey, you really want to squeeze that. You want to be swinging it all the time. I don't want you to throw your back out. And he acts like he's helping people out, but really he's just trying to show off how much he thinks he knows about weightlifting. Okay, so that's the helper brag. And then there's the unsolicited advice brag, and this is really annoying too, and adults do this all the time as well. But this is when you are expressing a problem that you have, and then they kind of cut in and they talk about how they did it and how great it was when they did it and how well it turned out, or how you should do it, and they use should statements a lot. Okay? That can be annoying because it feels like to the person when you say you should do this or you should do that, if they don't really want to do it that way, how are they supposed to express that that's not really them? Maybe that's not their personality. They maybe wouldn't do it that way. And it can become awkward for the person hearing the you should statement. All right? Here are some ways, if you're not supposed to be bragging all the time, how are you supposed to have conversations? So here are some ways. All right? First of all, you can ask. So you can ask, hey, could I give you a piece of advice? Or would you like to hear maybe how I did it? You can ask that. Ask if you can add something. Another way you can do it is you can just say, if you're not giving advice, you just want to add something to the conversation, you say, hey, can I add something here? And they'll say, sure. And they actually are appreciative of the fact that you asked and the fact that you have something to contribute instead of it looking like you're bragging. You can say, instead of asking, you can just say this, hey, something else to consider might be if you have like an opposing point of view, okay, instead of making it seem like everybody else is wrong and you're right. So don't manipulate conversations to talk about yourself. People will pick up on that very quickly. Okay? Don't direct the conversation. Let conversations progress naturally. All right? If you have a story to add or something, that's okay. Okay? Or if you want to tell something that was kind of funny or something great you did, okay, but don't be doing that all the time. People can tell what your intentions are. Braggarts most of the time will not admit that their intentions are to brag. They won't admit it. But ask yourself that question. And lastly, don't assume that you have the authority on every subject. Be humble. Be open to people. You don't have to challenge everyone all the time. That will make your conversations go a lot better. Thanks for watching.